Well, we do know that this was a 211 robbery suspect. So initially, the suspect wanted for some kind of robbery. We're not sure where or the details on specifically when and where that happened. But now, looking again, the suspect coming to another stop here. If I had to guess, I think it's that flat tire that is probably making it difficult for the suspect to move. At any sort of high speeds at this time, but the suspect continuing to be belligerent and not following orders, kind of gesturing out the window, yelling out the window. It appears that's what he's doing right now. If I widen out the shot, you can see LAPD Rampart units. They have the streets blocked, and they're making the call-outs to the suspect, trying to get him to come to his senses and get out of the car, because at this point, this car isn't going anywhere anytime fast, so the suspect, even though he doesn't want to, he kind of needs to look at that side of things and just give this one up. But as we look in a little closer here, once again, this is a robbery suspect. Unknown the details on that robbery, but the pursuit started in LAPD's Rampart area about 20 minutes ago. And now the suspect with the window rolled down, continuing to move around in the driver's seat of his car, hands out the window, but gesturing out the window and not complying with officers at this time. We do know, once again, that he hit that spike strip earlier, so you can see that front left tire completely flat. But here we go again. This might be one of those pursuits where he's just going to inch along and continue along as long as he can. Until that tire or wheel completely gives out. But at this speed, it might be a while before that tire actually causes him to come to a complete stop. Another spike strip here. We'll see what he does. Another spike strip. It looked like this one's actually bringing the car to a complete stop. It looked like the spike strip made contact with the right front tire. But I don't know if the suspect was going fast enough for the spike strip to actually make impact on that right front tire, but it is making this car come to a complete stop. And that spike strip is still in front of the vehicle, so that's going to make it difficult for him to do what he has been doing, continuing to inch forward and inch away from authorities as they try and get him to end this standoff, if you will, right now. And as I zoom in a little closer, you can see he has some kind of beverage in his hand. I can't quite make out what that is, but you know what happens in these situations where in their last few seconds of freedom they try to enjoy just enjoy it any way that they can, and this appears to be it. Hands out the window, still not complying, but I don't see any way that this car can keep going any forward from this point. This is MLK and Hoover now, so we've come a little bit west, a little closer to the Expo Park area, a little close to. He's maybe a block or so away from the 110 freeway, not affecting traffic on the 110 as I look out the helicopter window, but affecting a little bit of traffic here on MLK and Hoover. Traffic still going by, which is not necessarily what officers want to have happen right now. They are working to get other units in the area to block that traffic. That's a little too close for comfort there, as LAPD officers from the Rampart Division just try and continue to convince this suspect to give it up. And like I mentioned before, with that spike strip sitting in front of his right front tire still there, I don't see any way this suspect can go any further. Yeah, I couldn't quite make out exactly what that is. Maybe maybe the keys, maybe some type of other personal article. He appears to be now lighting up a cigarette, if I'm seeing that correctly. Which you know, again, we've seen this before. These people are in their last few minutes of freedom here, and they're just trying to enjoy it any way that they can. Suspect continuing to be. You know, yelling back at officers as they yell commands at him. He's not really making violent motions. He just seems to be trying to let them know that he's not ready. He's not ready to give this up as of yet. However much of a mistake that may be. You can see him lighting up that cigarette there, and you have to hope that after that, that might give him the right train of thought to just say, hey, it's just time to give this up, let this neighborhood go back to normal, let traffic flow normally, and just get on with the day. But here we are in a standoff situation. Officers here from LAPD continuing to have their guns drawn. You can see here this officer in the bottom center of your screen has that less than lethal weapon there just in case anything were to happen there. They do have that as an option here. I'm a little surprised that traffic is still flowing in the westbound direction on MLK Boulevard. That is a little bit unusual. I'm surprised LAPD hasn't tried to block traffic there. It looks like they've blocked traffic on Hoover. There you see a patrol unit blocking the road there, and probably in the northernmost direction as well. You can see air units, or that one air unit from LAPD, continuing to circle overhead, just giving officers on the ground a bird's eye view of the situation here. And zooming back in, nothing much has really changed. The suspect continuing to enjoy his drink, his cigarette, and just waiting for either officers to make a move or for him to come to the realization that it's time to give this up and end this standoff. Reaching for the door here, there on the driver's side. Maybe it's locked and he's just in no condition to figure out how to unlock it, although that would be kind of an interesting chain of events there. It looks like it definitely looked like there, Cher, that he was trying to open the driver's side door, or maybe he was mocking the officers. But here we go now, opening the door, hopefully following officer commands to walk backwards towards them with his hands in the air. This is not necessarily the best situation where he's digging in the passenger seat. We don't like to see that because we don't know what he has at his disposal there. Again, he appears to have that cigarette in his hand and maybe a drink in his other hand. I can't quite tell for sure here. But, well, at least the door is open, so officers can see clearly what he's doing, but not quite ready to actually exit the vehicle. So this is a little bit of a unusual situation where the suspect is just taking his sweet time, Cher. Copy that. Good afternoon, everybody on KTLA.com and the KTLA5 app. My name is Gabe Santos, live here in Sky 5 in the Expo Park area. If you've been watching our TV coverage, you saw us bring you the live coverage of the end of a pursuit here. We saw a little bit of a pursuit, slow-speed pursuit action going down MLK Boulevard here as this suspect with one flat tire at the time, one driver's side front tire, was flat already when we got on scene. Officers from LAPD's Rampart Division proceeded to use another set of spike strips, and that's where we're at now. That set of spike strips is still in front of this white truck that we see here, this robbery suspect. Pursuit started in LAPD's Rampart Division near the Koreatown area, or actually a little bit east of there, but we don't quite know exactly the details of the robbery that led to this. But the suspect didn't want to pull over from the point where Rampart officers got behind the suspect, led police on a chase through surface streets, passing the 10 freeway down south to this point where we're now in the Expo Park area. And as I said, a couple of spike strips were involved. One of those spike strips still under the right-hand side. And okay, this is not what I expected to happen, because as I was going to get through explaining, there is still a spike strip on the right driver's side under the wheel. There's still a spike strip lodged in there. So I'm a little bit surprised that the suspect was able to continue moving the truck as far as he did. I don't know at this point if officers ordered him to do that and he just threw something out of the window there. I believe that's the keys. So keys out the window now. Maybe he was doing everyone a favor, getting out of the flow of traffic, pulling over to the side of MLK Boulevard here, east of Hoover. Suspect throwing out the keys now, but otherwise partially complying, partially not complying. He's not giving up, but he's, by just the mere fact that he threw the keys out, that implies that he is willing to possibly bring this to an end, or at least possibly not go any further. Then the other question becomes, how long of a standoff is this going to be? We've seen the suspect light up a cigarette, drinking a beverage or two, and at this point it's just kind of the suspect enjoying his last few moments of freedom, and hopefully by the fact that he threw the keys out the window, that's his sign to us all that he isn't going to go any further, but we still don't know when he's going to actually give himself up. I'm going to go a little wider here and show you the LAPD presence here. Once again, these are officers from LAPD's Rampart Division. You saw the LAPD air unit go through the frame there. This is going to be the intersection of MLK Boulevard and Hoover. It appears that traffic has been shut down by other LAPD units, although maybe some cars are still scooting by on MLK. Officers remain focused on the driver in the white vehicle in the center of your screen, the white pickup truck there, robbery suspect. We're working to find details, some more details on specifically what that robbery entailed. We heard word earlier that the suspect was possibly armed with a machete. We're going to work to get more specific details on that. And you can see now, as often is the case in these situations, a bit of a crowd forms. And this is, people trying to get a close look at the action. Unfortunately, some officers are having to divert their attention there just to make sure the crowd keeps a safe distance. But otherwise, our focus remains on this suspect driver, still not quite out of his vehicle. We were surprised earlier to see him open the driver's side door, but he still remained sitting in the driver's seat, and now he appears to be standing up. So maybe now he's getting the courage, ever so slowly, to possibly bring this thing to an end. He's still gesturing at officers. He's not about to make this easy for them. Still gesturing. I'm going to loosen up this picture here just in case, because anytime you have a suspect that is a little bit aggravated walking towards officers in that way, that can be a little bit of a scary situation. Suspect now closing the driver door. Still gesturing at officers. They have less than lethal weapons at the ready here. Suspect turning around. Hands up, hands down. A little weary about what he's going to do. Still not willing to comply 100%. And that's what makes this still a tense situation for officers here. Continuing to back up. And there goes one officer. Hands bringing the suspect into custody, hands behind his back. And they're going to try and do a pat down of the suspect just to make sure he doesn't have anything on his person that officers wouldn't want to deal with. Handcuffs going on right there. And the secondary team of officers is going to move up onto the vehicle just to make sure that's all clear. We'll wait for word from them. Opening the passenger door, checking things out, and there goes the code 4 to all the to the area unit and all the other officers on scene here. The vehicle's clear, and the suspect was safely taken into custody. Last thing here is just to give the suspect a pat down, read him his rights, and he'll be on his way. A relatively safe ending to a pursuit here in Exposition Park. LAPD Rampart units bringing a 211 robbery suspect to a stop with spike strips in the Expo Park area, and a safe conclusion to this pursuit at the intersection of Martin Luther King Boulevard and Hoover. You can expect a little bit of traffic in the area while officers work to investigate and clear the scene. For now, that's the latest from here in Sky 5 with pilot David Viskovich. My name is Gabe Santos, and we're going to sign off for now. Hope to see you all later tonight. Thank you.